Hello.
And to you, good day.
Hello, Bashar.
Speak up, speak up.
I'm trying to. This mic is giving all of us fun.
Oh, all right. Thank you for having a technological challenge.
Well, I will say fun, but it's okay.
Well, challenge is fun.
That's what I say.
Yes.
And I fully agree with all of you.
All right.
Now,
Yes.
I like the theme, the topic of this talk is the stone speakers.
Yes.
And I've been thinking about it.
All right.
And I have a lot of ideas and
Yes.
many ideas. What was the purpose of this?
The
What was the purpose
is to
of?
have fun.
Yeah, that sounds easy. But
Well, it is.
yeah, but I think there is something more behind of it. or
There
maybe-
always is something more behind it.
Great, help us with that.
Why should I?
Why not?
Because you're going to discover what's behind it yourself. We have given you the push.
Giving me the push.
Yes. We have started
What-
you down a certain path.
Great. Why
Because
did-
we know there's something behind it that you need to discover.
All right.
But
we
we're
all-
not going to unwrap all your presents for you.
That sounds great. Help all of us. Now, if that is the case, because
Yes.
I also thought about it, we all are here and we all have kind of a little push each one.
Yes.
Maybe in different degrees.
Yes.
Which is good. But coming from another sonic planet or dimension or
Yes.
all those situations,
Yes.
I think there is a bigger message than just having fun.
Really?
Although, yeah, really.
All right, if you say so.
And I'm trying to figure out what it is, or what is the purpose of all of us being here. And
Well,
we
you
all just
understand
part
that this
of
is all a prelude to contact between our respective worlds, yes?
Now we're talking. Can you elaborate a little bit more?
The information that we share with all of you has many different kinds of reasons for being and being shared, not the least of which, of course, is to help you elevate yourselves and be more of who you are. And in so doing, by raising your frequency, you come closer to the vibration of our reality. And by coming closer to the vibration of our reality, it makes it more probable that our worlds can actually have contact and expand the family that we are. And a lot of the information being given is specifically the way we go about initiating first contact with other civilizations. We do it this way because the information is really what's important, and we remain kind of in the background, so you're not focused on the messenger, you're focused on the messages. And this gives you the opportunity to decide whether or not to integrate the information in your society or not, because we don't want to force you to do anything you don't prefer to do. So the amount of information that we deliver that you choose to integrate into your reality and how you choose to change your frequency is used by us as a barometer, as a measuring device to determine when you are more ready for more contact and more information that will lead to more open contact so that one day we can interact more directly and expand each other in more fun ways.
That sounds great.
Yes.
And all of it, how it's related with this topic, with the stones.
Well, the more you're in touch with all the different expressions of the consciousness of your world, the more your vibration will be experienced in a holistic way instead of all the little compartments you've broken it down into. So by experiencing your vibration in a more holistic way, then you will become an expression of more of who you are, and it will raise your frequency to be something more equal to ours.
I was thinking about that. And when you started the talk, you said something like the stones are kind of slow and they last longer and
Yes.
such a long, long time.
Yes.
And then I thought, I might be wrong, but maybe it's right. The stones are somehow minerals or compilation
Yes.
of minerals, different kind of it, right?
Yes.
And they are also in your planet and many
Yes.
other planets.
Yes.
Is that a way that your society is trying to connect all of us in the same vibration, or how it works?
Yes, we're not trying to, we are. And that's why I initially said in the initial talk that once you get to the idea of communicating with your planet, you can also use that state of being to communicate with other planets as well. And feel the connection of the web, the interconnection between all of our respective worlds. So yes, of course, we're using our world that way as well to reach other worlds. I am a first contact specialist, and it's one of the things I do, is use the vibration of my entire society, my entire world and everything in it, and send that vibration out. Those that respond to it, those that respond to the invitation of that vibration, are the worlds we initiate communication with, such as your own, because you answered the invitation.
We all do.
Yes. Well, not all of you,
We
but
all
the
are
ones that we
present.
interact with, yes.
Yeah. So taking that one, and I don't mean to take more time,
That's all right.
but although we already talked about a little bit about time,
Yes, yes, yes.
in that regard, the stone as a more solid, I would say solid material, you
Well,
were
yes, it
relating
appears
that.
to be, yes.
I heard you that you were relating that, like a cutting a little slice,
Yes.
and make a sound, and then
Yes.
it'll be a vibration.
Yes.
So I was thinking, that slide can be maybe quarter of an inch, or it can be 10 inches,
Well, yes, it
depending on
can.
the size.
Yes,
So
but it's easier for
in
your
that-
technology to get a tone out of it if it's a little bit thinner. Yes.
yeah, but I'm trying to go another direction.
Oh, all right.
If that is the case, so
Yes.
then the vibration that it will come from that stone, it will participate or resonate with the water that is in us. And by that fact, in this earth, we have a lot of water, including the dolphins, the whales, and all of it.
Yes.
So which one is the common message besides having fun and sharing vibration?
To be yourself as fully as you can. That's the only thing you need to do, because you are a unique aspect of creation. And by allowing yourself to be that unique aspect as fully as you can be, you allow creation to experience the expansion of itself through all the different unique perspectives that each component of creation was created to be. So all you need to do to allow for the expansion of creation is to be yourself and have the fullest experience you can of whatever experience you choose to have. That's it. That's how creation expands itself. It's like all of you and all of us and all beings in creation of any form whatsoever are all the different ways that creation has of experiencing itself. So even when you are choosing to limit yourself, that is still an experience that creation is having.
Yeah.
And the idea of transforming yourself from limitation to more freedom will also be experienced by creation as a very freeing experience, and that will allow it to expand its understanding of itself. The structure never changes, but the experience of the structure will always change, and that's infinite.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Oh, yeah, definitely does.
All right.
Definitely does.
Does that address the issue?
I will say it helps me more to grow and try to have more fun, enjoy myself.
All right.
That'll be great.
Please do.
The last question.
Yes.
I'm not, I heard something about the singing bowl, the Buddha
Yes.
temple, and the water.
Yes.
How is that related with our today's?
It's similar
Got it.
in a way. A lot of the idea of the crystal bowls set up certain resonances and so forth that are similar to what we're talking about. But if you really want the pure tone, it has to be a natural and not an artificial or man-made crystal.
Oh, I see.
That would be the difference.
Okay. Thank you, Bashar.
Thank you. My, you're all so sedate today. Maybe you're all turning into stone.
Good morning, Bashar.
And to you, good day.
I'm
Speak up, speak up.
I'm very excited to be here.
Well, prove it.
It-
Oh, yes, that sounds so much more exciting.
I'm just a little nervous.
Good job.
This is my first Bashar interaction.
Well, that's all right. What a coincidence. It's our first interaction with
Yes,
you. See how that
indeed.
works? No need to worry.
My first question is, last fall I was walking through downtown Oakland with a friend of mine, and I just
Speak
felt
up,
this-
speak up.
Last fall I was walking through downtown Oakland with a friend of mine,
Yes,
and I felt this prompt to look up into the sky.
yes.
So I looked up and saw the moon, and I saw a red-orange kind of glowing half circle.
Yes.
And it just looked very peculiar to me. So I tapped my friend on the shoulder and motioned for him to look up. And as soon as he did, it shrank and disappeared, almost
All
as if
right.
it didn't want to be seen.
Yes.
So I'm just curious about what that was all about.
But what did it instill within you? What did it get you to look at that otherwise you may not have looked
A
at?
sense of wonder,
All right.
excitement,
All right.
and I guess I had been opening, I don't know, my vibration to encounter some sort of
Yes.
spacecraft. Because
All right.
I've heard other people have experiences like this, and I
well
wanted
then,
to.
why are you sounding confused about that? It sounds like you had all the things you were asking for,
This
yes?
is true. This is true.
So where's the confusion? Are you simply surprised that it happened?
I was just wanting to know what exactly it was.
In a sense, you could simply say it is a projection of consciousness. Whether you experience it as a ship or not is really inconsequential. But a projection of another aspect of your own being in another form from another dimension to respond to your desire for more openness and more wonder in your life.
Okay.
Many of the encounters and sightings that many of you have, not all, but many, are actually other versions of yourselves from other realities. Thus acting as a reflection, acting as a mirror for you to help remind you of more of who you are.
So it was just a reflection of
Just?
myself. It was a reflection of myself.
Yes,
To myself.
for the specific opportunity of opening you up to more wonder.
Okay.
Yes?
Yes.
And showing you that that state of being you were in at that moment is the state of being from which to come and from which to act on all things in your life from that point forward. You were given an opportunity to experience the state of being that is more truly you. Yes?
Yes.
So you remember what that felt like, yes?
Yes, I do.
So remember, many people on your planet have this kind of backwards. Many people say, well, I'd like to feel that again. So let me remember what that felt like, without realizing that as they remember what it felt like, they are feeling it. Now, it may not be exactly the same, but it doesn't necessarily need to be the same. But even more important than that, remember that we have said you cannot experience what you're not the vibration of. You remember that?
Yes.
So if you really stop and think about it, here's the paradoxical trick. You actually have to already be the state of being to even have the ability to remember the state of being that you had. Does that make sense?
Yes.
You see how you fool yourselves all the time? Well, if I want to generate that state of being again, let me try and remember what it felt like then. But you see, you actually have to be in the state of being to actually have the memory. So you're already there.
So the state of being is what is primary.
State of being is all there is. That's why we say it's not the circumstances that matter so much, it's the state of being. State of being generates the experience of the circumstance. The circumstance does not generate the state of being. Although it can be used to reinforce a state of being, it doesn't generate the state of being. It's a reflection of the state of being. Make sense?
Yes. So could you say that I was already in a vibration of wonderment,
Yes.
and that was just a manifestation?
Yes, that was
or-
the manifestation of the state of being you were already in. So now that you know what that feels like, anytime you know you're in that state of being, that's the state of being that represents your true self, more alignment with creation. Act in everything in your life from that state of being, and everything will be experienced in alignment.
Okay.
Make sense?
Yes. Thank
this
you.
help?
Yes. Very much so.
Thank you. Yes?
Yes, I have a few more questions.
Oh, all right.
I have a question about talent and
Talent.
Yes,
Yes.
we've all been given different talents, different sets
Yes.
of talents, and I feel like I have been given a lot.
All right. In what manner does your talent express itself, or
in many
which
sort of
manners?
artistic forms.
All right.
And I feel that I'm maximizing a certain
Then
aspect.
what question do you have?
There are other talents that I feel like that I've been given that I'm not making the full potential of.
Why not? You know you're entering dangerous territory now. Just checking.
Yes, I guess I feel that I'm not good enough.
Not good enough. But you're good enough for the talent that you do express more fully?
Yes, yes.
What's the difference then between them? What difference are you making between them? Why is this one okay, but this one isn't?
That's a really good
I'm good
question.
enough for this one, but I'm not good enough for that one. Where's the difference come in?
I feel a stronger sense of criticism, or potential criticism, negative criticism from others.
Because?
Again, because I fear that they're going to think that I'm not good enough.
But why don't you fear that in the other one?
Because I feel that I'm really good at the thing that I am good at.
Were you always good at it?
Yes,
From
actually.
the beginning?
Yeah, since I was a kid, yes.
Oh, all right.
And the others, I feel perhaps that I haven't spent as much time developing those talents.
That's all right. If they are truly something you're excited about doing, certainly it's all right to experience the process of development. As we said, the journey is the destination, yes?
Yes.
And as you learn things, you're going to get better at those things you're learning, yes?
Yes.
Is there nothing in your life that you didn't know to begin with that you actually learned over time and got better at?
Yeah, there are a lot of things that I
Well,
developed over
were you
time, yeah.
afraid what people were going to think about you while you were also learning or developing those other things?
No.
So
because-
again,
yeah.
what makes these so different?
Well,
Is it that you just didn't care about those things as much?
I'm starting to see that I just followed my excitement in the thing that I do professionally.
Yes.
And that's why I don't feel that sense of criticism and why I feel.
And so by having that as a marker, by
Yes.
having that as an experience, do you feel you can apply that understanding to all the things that you are also developing?
Yes, I see that now.
All right.
Thank you.
Because again, really, no one is you.
True.
And even though people may do things that are similar to you, they will never do them the same. You are unique. So while it's all well and good to be open enough to accept the idea of creative or constructive criticism, as you call it on your planet, of advice, you can always take the time to see if the advice you're being given is something that you can apply to yourself in a positive way. But once you decide that what they're saying has nothing to do with who you prefer to be, that's the end of it. Because they have no ability to criticize you because they are not you. They have no idea how you are going to do something. You understand?
Yes.
So they actually have no way of criticizing you. And when someone really does criticize in a negative way, they're actually criticizing themselves and just projecting it on you. Do you understand that?
Okay, yes.
So the issue is really about them, not you. If you come from a state of compassion and centeredness, you'll see that. It's their issue, and they simply feel the need to project their criticisms of themselves because they feel a lack of self-worth onto you because they're too afraid to examine that belief within themselves, so they'll use you as an excuse to not have to. You understand? By trying to make themselves feel more superior to you by letting you be the one that they criticize instead of turning the spotlight on themselves because they're too afraid to. And the reason they're too afraid to examine that issue of self-worth or lack thereof within themselves is because they're afraid that if they investigate that idea, they're actually going to find out that it's true, that they're worth nothing. But it can never be true. That's the secret. It can never be true. Because if it really were true that you were worthless, you wouldn't exist because creation doesn't make mistakes. And if you exist, creation must need you to exist. You must, by definition, be a valuable part of all that is, because if it wasn't for you, all that is wouldn't be all that is without you. If it believes, if it knows it needs you in order to be all that is, and you are worth that much, that creation has created you because creation knows that without you, it isn't all that it can possibly be, why argue with creation about your worth? Because that's what you do when you say, I'm unworthy. You're arguing with creation about your worth. You're saying, oh, you made a mistake in making me. Now, here's another paradox in that state of being. When someone says, oh, I'm not worthy, I am worthless, I don't deserve, they're calling themselves out as being different than anyone else. I, out of all the beings in creation, are not worthy. That makes you actually arrogant. So insisting on a lack of worthiness is actually the most arrogant thing you can do. How's that for a paradox? You follow?
Yes, yes.
Is this making
yes.
some sense?
Yes.
Is this helping?
Yes.
Well, then we thank you.
Thank you.
Yes.
And my last question, when I was 11 and 12, I went through a clinical depression.
How exciting.
Yes.
And
that
the idea, of course, is to understand that more often than not, when people on your planet define the withdrawing into yourself to find the answers you know don't exist outside you, when you define it in a negative way, you experience it as depression. When you define it in a positive way, because it's a natural act to go where you know the answers are, it's simply natural compression. Do you understand the difference?
compression.
Compression. It's a natural thing to compress, to go inward, to find answers you know don't exist outside of you. But when people on your planet say, oh, you're going inward, something's wrong with you. What's wrong with you? You're antisocial. You're shrinking away. You're shutting yourself off. Then, of course, if you buy into all those negative definitions of the natural compression, you will, of course, feel it as depression. So don't define it that way, and it won't be experienced that way.
Okay.
And having gone through that now, you can understand that certainly that's not something you prefer to experience. Yes?
No, it wasn't something
Well,
that I preferred
if
to
you
experience.
no longer prefer to experience the vibrational state called depression, or even remember it as something you went through, then understand that by having gone through it, you now know that you don't prefer it. And it has added clarity to you to know what you do prefer.
Yes.
And now you can label this idea, this experience, if it ever happens again, as natural compression and not experience it in a negative way.
Yes.
Yes?
Well, that leads me to the next part
How
beautifully,
synchronous
which
of you.
is there was a point when shortly after my 13th birthday, I just sort of woke up and I said to myself I was sick and tired of being sick and tired all the time.
There you go.
And I felt this amazing kind of
Yes.
divine energy enter my solar
Yes.
plexus, and it just filled me up.
You felt more of yourself.
Yes.
Yes.
And for the following 3 months, I experienced this intense
Yes.
experience of enlightenment.
Yes.
I was telepathic. I
Yes.
was
Yes.
able to help people when exactly at the right time,
And
whenever
you
they
still can,
needed.
and you still do, just in a different way. Because once you master one thing, you go on to learn something else. Doesn't mean it's gone away, it just means it's changed its form, that's all.
Okay.
Because remember, when you raise your vibration to a new level, at first it's all like, oh yes, I feel this, it's different, it's new. You're going to get used to it after a while, yes? And then it won't feel so new, it won't feel so
Yeah,
different, but
yeah.
that's all right, because
Okay.
you can raise yourself to another level, and then it will feel new again. But it's not that it has to.
Okay.
It will feel whatever way it needs to feel. Remember that when we talk about the idea of acting on your excitement, we don't mean you always have to be jumping up and down. A state of perfectly balanced, peaceful meditation can also be a representation of your passion. Yes? So it will fluctuate. But don't look at it like this. Look at it like this. You're always going
okay.
up, even
Okay.
as you go up and down.
Yes.
You never go down to the same level you were at before. You understand?
Yes.
Does this help?
Yeah, it helps. I think for a number of years after, I sort of felt bad about it because I felt like I had lost.
Yes, you haven't
Lost
lost
it.
anything.
Okay, okay.
Stop spending your time and energy judging yourself and adding more resistance and difficulty to something you don't prefer to do.
Okay.
It's as simple as that.
Okay.
Lighten up. Remember, the fastest way to enlightenment is to lighten up on yourselves. Yes?
Yes.
No negative judgment. If you did something you don't prefer, all right, acknowledge it, own up to it. All right, I did something I don't prefer to do. I did something that's out of alignment with who I prefer to be. All right. I take full responsibility. I acknowledge it absolutely. I'm the creator of that. Now, what do I want to learn from that? Who do I prefer to be now? Done! Move on.
Okay.
You understand?
Yes.
That's how it works. That's how it can work. Unless, of course, you really enjoy spending more time in the process of berating yourself and judging yourself. And if you want to do that, I won't stop you at all because it's your choice all the time. But if you prefer something else, then by all means choose something else.
Okay.
It's up to you. There is nothing in existence that can possibly contradict the choices that you make. Nothing. You understand?
Yes.
Because there would be no point to it. You are the one in charge. You are the one in control. And even if you feel out of control, you're in control of that experience. You can never actually be out of control. You can never actually be disconnected. But you can create experiences of being out of control. You can create experiences of being disconnected. But the paradox and the irony is you have to be in control and be connected to have experiences of being out of control and have experiences of being disconnected. You see the irony?
Yes.
Does that help?
Yes, so it's not a matter then of looking back on it and asking, for example, how can I recreate that? Instead, are you saying that I can look back,
You can look back,
look forward,
but
and
the
just
idea of
say-
looking back is something that's happening in the present.
Okay.
If it helps you to relate to that idea in order for it to give you more ability to clearly define who you prefer to be now, then you can use it that way. But everything exists in the now. There actually is no back.
Okay.
There actually is no forward. Everything exists here and now. Future and past are illusionary.
So it's just a matter of moving deeper into the present
It's just a
moment.
matter of more clarity in defining yourself in the way you prefer to be, in more alignment with who you prefer, who you know you really are.
Okay.
That's it. Yes?
Yes.
Simple, yes? I know that on your planet sometimes people find such things too simple and they want to complicate them because they have been taught to believe that if something is not really difficult, then you haven't earned it. It's not worth it. You'll go through enough processes that you absolutely need to go through without having to invent more of them than you need to go through. Believe me, you deserve any amount of happiness you can imagine. But the point is that whatever you believe you deserve is what you'll get. And you're fully in charge of that. All right?
Yes.
All right, well, thank you.
Thank you.
Nania, what time is it?
It's that time.
It is that time, is it not?
How perceptive of you.
You would think we were wearing a watch.
It's that big clock you have over your console, right?
Tick-tock. It is time and timing for your refreshment. We will allow you now your refreshment break, and we will resume this transmission afterwards. Enjoy, relax, absorb, refresh. How's it going? Good?
It's going great.
Yeah.
So we're going to reconvene at 2 o'clock here, and so we just like to wish you all to have a great lunch, and we'll see you in